Hi guys, so tonight I'm in a totally different setting, obviously. I am dog sitting my dog from when I lived at my parents' house while they're at the beach, so if you hear him walking around the entire time, that is what you are hearing. So I was not going to even film, but then I realized we've had so many bronzers come out this summer. Like, it's been just insane. So I happened to have a few of like the big ones with me, so I kind of figured we could just do like a bronzer rundown of the summer. And I mean, I have like the Buxom bronzer that has been talked about all summer but just finally came out like not long ago. I have not applied this on camera, so I do want to put some of this on. I'm not looking quite bronzy enough. And then I also have the Gucci bronzer, which has been super hyped. I have the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. I don't even need to say anything else about this one. Then I have the, well, I guess we'll go. I have the Kosas bronzers. Then I have a couple of cream bronzers. I have the Tarte, which I feel like was not hyped up anywhere near enough. And then I have the Fenty, which I feel like was so hyped. And then I also just brought out the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate palette, just like for swatching purposes, because I wanted to see the three of these beside each other. So I think we're gonna just go ahead and start with swatches. I'm going to swatch the creams on one side and the powders on the other, and then I will be right back. I'm kind of just gonna like tell you my thoughts on them. This isn't going to be like some super informative video like some people make, and at some point I almost want to get into that, like breaking down, you know, this cream versus this cream. This one has 0.22 ounces and this one has blah blah blah, like what's the better deal, what's the better. And I know a bunch of people do that and I enjoy watching them. Like this woman Tara Lynn does that a lot and I always appreciate it. So if y'all would ever like that information, definitely let me know down below. I would love to know your thoughts on it. Like, do enough people do it already? Would you want, you know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and swatch these real quick, and then I will be right back to kind of just tell you what I think about them. Okay, so this is probably going to be like the most pointless video that I ever put up, because I know I'm like running all around and like not sitting in the same spot, and the swatches that I do are usually total shit. So this was just kind of like a, if you've been wondering or if you haven't picked all of them up like I have, just if you're looking for a really good bronzer that has come out this year, you know, kind of what my thoughts are on it. So these are all of the swatches. Okay, so from the top, we have the Tarte Breezy Cream Bronzer in Seychelles. Then we have the Fenty Cream Bronzer in Macchiato. Then this third one here is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. So that one is definitely the deepest out of all three of these, and that is in Intensity 01. And then we get into the powders. So this one right here is going to be the new Buxom bronzer that I just got, and I'm super excited to try out with y'all. And then the second one here is the Charlotte Tilbury, sorry, it is right here. That is the Charlotte Tilbury in the shade 2. So I do really have to build that up to get like a decent swatch. And then the one below that is the Gucci bronzer, which I really just suck at this. This is the Gucci bronzer. I feel like it's kind of, it has the most reddish tone out of all of these, and I think I actually really like that about it. And then the final two are the Kosas baked bronzers. So this is in light, and then this one is in a medium. And I'll like try to take a better picture with my phone so you can actually like pop it in here so you can actually see all of the different shades. But I don't know, all of these are very different to me. The cream bronzers are basically all the same. Not gonna lie, they're not very different. I reach for the Tarte every single day. Like, I'm not sure why. I've been keeping all three of these in my everyday makeup bag, which is insane, I know. But I just wanted to see, like, if I had all of them, which one would I gravitate towards? So I've still been going for the Tarte. But when it comes to these powder bronzers, they're all very different. Just very different in general. The way they're formulated, baked, not baked, whether there's a sheen, whether they're matte. The Charlotte Tilbury, if you were just looking for a matte bronzer, this is like where to go. Every other bronzer I have here does have some sort of sheen to it. This has nothing, but it still blends in and looks so flawless on your skin because it does have that like airbrush powder that Charlotte Tilbury is just known for. So this is the perfect matte bronzer. I just love it. I use this first every single day, and then I top something else on top of it. So This one is like ride or die, and I love that the pan really is so big. I was watching someone else's video, and this has 16 grams in it. This Buxom has 4 grams. So this is a pricey bronzer, but this is more expensive in the long run. So just kind of feeling those two out. So when it actually comes down to it, the Gucci bronzer and the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer are pretty similarly priced. Not down to the T. The Gucci bronzer is definitely more expensive all around, but the Gucci bronzer has 12 grams in it and the Charlotte Tilbury has 16. So that is much more consistent since they are both, you know, really luxurious and expensive brands. So first, I just want to put on some of the Charlotte Tilbury because it is so beautiful. And I figured for this little video, I would use my Tom Ford bronzer brush and my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer brush. So this is the brush that came out with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. And I honestly didn't give it that much of a shot just because I don't love brushes like this, but I've been using it the past couple of days and I do like it. So the best thing about this is that you can literally just like go in. You really don't even have to tap it off, and you can just like go to town, and you definitely don't need anything to top this. Like, this is beautiful all on its own, and it just warms your face up enough that it like, I don't know, it doesn't look like you're going overboard. Like, I already know once I put on this and that Buxom bronzer, it's gonna look like I went overboard. I know that. I'm okay with that. I'm about to jump in the shower. It's all good. But this one right here, it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't cake up. It always just glides on so smooth. It doesn't emphasize any kind of texture that you have going on. Like, if I come in here closer, it really just, like, it almost helps to smooth out your skin. So that is the Charlotte Tilbury with her brush. And now I'm going to use the Tom Ford brush with my new Buxom bronzer. This is in the shade Backyard Bronze, and I believe this was the lighter of two, but it's still pretty darn dark. So that is this one right here. So I mean, in the whole scheme of things, it's not like a light bronzer whatsoever, but it does have a little bit of a sheen to it. So we're going to go in with this brush, which I think is 100% overpriced. You do not need this brush. XOXO has a brand, XO Beauty. They make a brush that is very similar to this. Morphe has one that kind of looks like this. I don't feel like it's all that similar though. It doesn't have the same feeling, but this is just an overpriced brush. You don't need it. I wanted it like for my collection. It's so stupid to spend that much money, but if you do, like, you better damn well use it. So we're using it. So I'm going to swirl this, really tap it off, and then grab a mirror. Ooh. Oh yeah, that has some pigment. So like, now I've definitely gone overboard with the bronzer. That's okay with me right now. I truly just don't really care. I had very little on from earlier in the day, so I gotta feel bronzy for at least a little bit before I jump in the shower. So this is, I think, where you'll really be able to see a difference. This is the side with the Charlotte Tilbury and the Buxom, and this is the side with just the Charlotte Tilbury. So you definitely see much more of a sheen and just a little more shimmer on that side, and this side is just, you know, nice and matte, which can be totally beautiful. Like, I stop with just the Charlotte Tilbury a lot, and I'm not complaining at all. I am going to try to even these out just a little bit. Alright, so I think you can kind of tell. Actually, I don't know what you can tell. This lighting is totally different. I will be able to tell when I'm editing it, but I will not know until then. So I'm just going to take my little Charlotte Tilbury brush again and really just kind of like blend all of this in. And then I'm going to go, because that was all I was going to say. But I was also going to do another little check-in with this matte Born This Way foundation. Now this I've had on all day. Guys, it looks just like it did when I put it on. My under eyes don't look quite, Max. My under eyes don't look quite the same, but I mean, my skin really does look good for like, yeah, it's been 12 hours. I've had this on for 12 hours, and I did just kind of, come here, buddy. I did just kind of like freshen it up a little bit, but like my makeup does not usually ever look like this after 12 hours. So I think someone is telling me they want to go outside, so I'm going to go and throw his toy for a little bit before I jump in the shower and go to bed. So I hope this was somewhat informative, even if you were just like wondering about the Charlotte Tilbury brush. It is a really nice brush, like for this kind of brush, if that makes any sense. Tom Ford bronzer brush, you definitely don't need. It's a beautiful brush, it's a great splurge, it works amazing, but there are other brushes that apply bronzer just like it. And then I did want to kind of rank all of these. So the way I would rank the creams would be Tarte, Tom Ford, and then Fenty. I don't really have a why. He's very vocal tonight. I don't really have a reason for putting the Fenty last. I just always gravitate toward it the least. And then for the bronzers, I think I'm gonna have to say out of these bronzers right here, the Charlotte Tilbury is definitely number one just because it's so versatile and I feel like everyone can use this. And then the second is gonna have to be the Gucci bronzer because it's so good, guys. It's so, so good. And I finally heard that they will be coming out with refills of the compact. So, not of the compact, of the actual pan. So even if you cannot get your hands on the gorgeous component, I would look into just buying the actual bronzer. I'm sure it will be less expensive and you can just pop it into, you know, any compact that would fit it or just like a Z palette. So I think I might be picking up another shade once like winter rolls around and all that and the refills are out. So that is number 2. And then I'm honestly really loving this Buxom bronzer. I know I just put it on for the first time with y'all tonight, but I have used it a couple other times and it does have a good sheen to it, but it is not as sheeny as the Kosas. This is almost too much for me. I have to use such a light hand, really buff it in, really like get in there good with it, and I'm kind of lazy when it comes to all that. This seems easier to work with so far. So yeah, I would put this at number 3 and then the Kosas. The only difference is the light and the medium. I think the light will actually be a beautiful like finishing powder for the summer because I always want to bring a little more life back to my face. But yeah, now that I have rambled on for far too long and made a video that was supposed to be 5 minutes, probably 30 minutes, I'm gonna go. I hope y'all are having a great day, night, evening, weekend, whatever it is, wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Bye.